The Solan field is located in the UK sector of the North Sea, west of the Shetland Islands. The reservoir lies in Block 205, 26A, covering an area of more than 7 square kilometres. The sea here is 135 metres deep, and the reservoir's crest is 2,400 metres below the seabed. The total height of the hydrocarbon column is around 260 metres. The reservoir consists of sandstones, which were originally laid down by mass flows of sediment. These were deposited on the seabed during the Jurassic period. The sand thickness varies from 10 metres on the crest to 43 metres on the flanks of the structure. Over time, claystones and mudstones were layered on top of the sands, forming the caprock, which acts as a reservoir seal. Over millions of years, oil migrated into the sandstone, creating the oil accumulation as we know it today. The oil has a medium viscosity of between 3 and 5 centipoise, with a relatively low amount of gas dissolved in the oil. The oil is held in the reservoir at a pressure of 3,700 pounds per square inch and a temperature of 95 degrees centigrade. At the start of the project, a semi-submersible drilling rig will be moored. It will remain long enough to drill 2 sub-horizontal production wells with sections of between 5 and 6,000 feet through the Solan reservoir sand. Because of the relatively thin reservoir interval, we will need to create long horizontal well trajectories. We will steer the wells so that they stay within the sand while traversing faults. Mesh screens will need to be fitted to prevent quantities of sand entering the production flow. Each well will be equipped with dual electric submersible pumps to maximize total recovery. These will boost production rates per well to around 15,000 barrels of fluid per day. 2 horizontal water injection wells will help to maintain reservoir pressure. Completion of drilling signals the start of intense subsea installation activity prior to startup, with flow lines and umbilicals being laid and divers completing the tie-ins between subsea equipment. All the base case development wells will be completed with subsea wellheads, which will be remotely controlled from onshore. The subsea architecture has been kept to a minimum, with just 4.5 kilometres of flow lines and pipeline and 1.8 kilometres of umbilical. The wells will be tied back with individual flexible flow lines to a fixed platform, which will be installed by a heavy lift vessel during the final stages of drilling operations. A conventional steel lattice jacket will support the topsides. 4 piles at each leg will anchor it to the seabed. The facilities are designed to process up to 28,000 barrels a day of dry oil and 35,000 total liquids. All the fluids produced from the reservoir will be either sold to market or re-injected back into the reservoir. No contaminated water will be discharged overboard. At most, 3 million standard cubic feet of gas will be produced daily along with the oil. This will be used for fuel and the excess flared. The platform will be operated remotely from a control room in Aberdeen. It will be visited only monthly for routine maintenance and inspection. It will have accommodation for 30 people, but will only be manned for the first year. From the platform, oil will be sent for storage to a steel tank on the seabed, which, like the platform, will be installed by a heavy lift vessel during final stages of drilling operations. This comparison to a London bus gives some idea of the size of this tank, which is capable of holding up to 300,000 barrels. As oil fills the tank, ballast water is displaced, returned to the platform, and used for water injection. Down here on the seabed, it's all much less vulnerable to damage from the area's harsh weather than a surface storage facility might be. Every few weeks, a dynamically positioned shuttle tanker will offload the oil, Solan is expected to come online in the fourth quarter of 2014 and to produce more than 44 million barrels of oil during its lifetime. Its facilities will also act as a processing hub for this part of the West Shetlands, capable of handling incremental reserves tied back to the platform. This will make it possible to produce from accumulations that would otherwise have been too small for commercial development.